Welcome to the On Main Street podcast, where you'll meet some of the area's leading minds. These community leaders and business owners are ready to share their journeys of success, failures, and what it takes to reach your full potential.
You're listening to the On Main Street podcast. I'm Kelly Baith.
And I'm Brady Lindquist, and we are back.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us. We took a few weeks off, but now we are going to be back on a more regular basis.
And if you're new here, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, our guest today is Paulina Wollschlager from the Mill Pond Salon. First things first, thanks for being on the podcast, and we appreciate you taking time out of your day to share your story with our listeners, so thank you.
Thank you for having me.
And you're going to have to pronounce your last name for me once.
Wollschlager.
Wollschlager.
Yes.
Wollschlager. Okay.
Get
So we'll get that right when we do it.
Get that out of the way,
Yep.
For sure.
Okay. Brady, let her rock.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of where you were born and raised, and
Well, I grew up in Ortonville, Minnesota, so right on the border, South Dakota, a small town about the same size as New London, actually, but not quite as up and coming. It's a really retirement-based community. They do have hunting and fishing coming in, but that's about it. So opportunity business-wise just isn't really there.
Sure.
I went to college after that in Watertown, South Dakota, at Lake Area Tech. I always knew that I wanted to do hair, so I did that and opened a salon the day that I graduated.
Nice.
So it was just like a little one-chair suite. It was nothing special, but I worked like 40 hours a week there and another 30 bartending to pay the bills to keep that open while I was building the clientele.
And where was that at?
In Millbank, South Dakota.
in
So about
Millbank.
10
So in
miles
South
from
Dakota.
Ortonville.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, wow.
South Dakota gal.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but close enough.
Not really,
over there.
but close enough.
You're actually our second Ortonville guest.
Really?
Dean Edelman. Do you know Dean Edelman?
Yeah, not personally, but I know the name.
So Dean grew up in Ortonville too, so it's kind of funny when you say that.
Yep. So after doing that for a couple of years, I was able to expand. I bought a bigger salon in Millbank, and then I moved out here because I was like, it's great out there, but like I said, it's just not like moving forward. I don't
Right,
feel.
not as progressive.
Yeah. So you're kind of sitting stagnant. Like once you get to where you want to be in business, you're there and it's great, but there's not a whole lot of room to move up.
Sure.
So it was time to move forward and try something new.
Come
So,
this way.
Yep.
Let's back up 1 second. You said you knew for sure you wanted to do hair right away. So, how come? Childhood experience or something, or what was it?
I don't even know what triggered it because my sister and I both do hair.
Okay.
Our mom does not.
Okay.
Like, you would not guess where that came from. I have a little Tykes salon set that I still have.
Oh, cool.
I started like cutting my friend's hair in the kitchen when I was like 12. Had a few little whoopsies, but then I honestly like would buy aluminum foil and tear sheets and we'd get box colors and do that stuff at home. So
That was your thing.
It was my thing, and it always was, and I don't think it'll ever change.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
So-
That's cool.
What brought you out here? So you were down there in South Dakota. What made you decide this area, Candiota County?
When I was looking at moving, I wanted something that was a little bit bigger, but yet not overwhelming to me. I've never lived in a big city. So I literally kind of picked a random spot on the map, an area in between St. Cloud and Montevideo. And I looked at Montevideo and I'm like, there's not really a whole lot there either. And I looked at St. Cloud and I was like, nope, that's way too much for me. Okay. So I got a job in Wilmer to begin with, and that was kind of a happy median. When I first came out here, I was staying in Regal for a couple months, of all places.
Oh, yeah.
So I drove through New London Spicer every single day on my way to work in Wilmer, and I fell in love with it because it's about the same size as where I grew up. You know, you have your small town, but it's more, like you said, progressive. There's more going on. There's people doing things. There's lakes. There's tourism. I mean, I just love everything about it. So
That's cool. That's what I love about this, just hearing people's story on how you ended up here and the journey that brought you here, and who knows where it leads you, but that's pretty neat.
I guess getting into like So you kind of explained why you moved to the area, but then opening up a shop in New London on Main Street, where did the decision in that come from?
I have been my own boss since 2010. That's when I graduated cosmetology school. That's when I opened my first salon. So working for someone to build a clientele was okay, but I always knew that I wanted to go back to being my own boss.
Sure.
So it was always kind of a long-term plan to find a place, and opportunity just kind of popped up that we were driving through, because I drive directly through New London to go home to Ortonville. So I was driving through town and I saw the big sign that the building was for sale. And I was like, I want to go look at that. And we went in and I said, this is it. And everybody was looking at me like, you're kidding me, right? Like, that's a joke. You want to turn this place into a salon? And I was like, no, I'm serious. It's there. I see it. Let's do this.
Have that vision for it.
Yeah. So I think I started working on the paperwork before Christmas, and we had it all closed and buttoned up by February in the beginning, and started remodeling right away.
You've done a lot of work to it.
Yeah.
If you haven't stopped in the Mill Pond Salon, you need to, listeners. It is super cool. Loved it. Did you design that, or did you have somebody do it? Or?
I designed it. So I worked with Chris Reeks. He does aero construction. He's a local guy. I actually kind of bumped into him on the street, and I was like, okay, I have this vision. Can you come take a look at this and tell me if you think this is doable? Because, you know, I know he's a known kind of construction guy, and I'm like, all right. And I think the hardest part was trying to explain what I saw to someone else. Because, you know, when I came in, it was an antique store. It was dark. It was dreary. The floor was just bare concrete.
It's very rustic.
And old tile and some rusty tin on the walls. And that worked great for what it was. Mm-hmm. But if you're coming in to get your hair done, that's not what you want to see. So I was like, okay, so we got to level out this floor, do some concrete, lay some nice flooring on top of it. We need to re-sheetrock everything. We need to finish it off. But once it's done, I want, like, the way that I describe it is a modern bohemian farmhouse. So it was like very simple, you know, elegant, not too much of anything. But clean looking with a little bit of barnwood trim, and then maybe some like beachy feel. So you'll see like a lot of macrame, and everyone was like, it's not 1970 anymore when I pulled out the macrame. But I'm like, oh no, trust me. It's going to work.
It worked.
Sure.
And it worked. And now
nice.
Everybody's loving it, and it's actually kind of trending now. So I'm like, well,
Yeah, looks awesome.
all right.
Very nice. Okay, so the grand opening, not maybe a grand opening, but when were you actually open for business?
It was March 26th, I think, was the first day that I started taking appointments. Somewhere right around the end of March.
Okay. So you've had a pretty good chunk here. What's it like kind of being new to the community, and what's that feeling been like, and how could you describe it?
When it comes to being new to a community, it's always hard because you never know, like, not being a local person, how it's going to be accepted. But New London, I don't even know how to begin to describe it, because you'd think small town and you worry about cliquey, and like, I'm not a local, so I'm the outsider and it's going to be tough, but it's not like that here at all. I absolutely love that about New London, because I've never felt more welcome anywhere.
Wow.
Like, I truly believe in like small business and people supporting each other. Like, if we're in a small town and just competing and, you know, whatever, like, we're going to undercut each other and it's not going to turn out good and it's just going to be an all-out battle. Well, here, like, everybody truly does work together and try and get that sense of community going and raise each other up. And I love that about that, because even being the newcomer from out of town, I got that. So
Good. A lot of good business support. The business
absolutely.
community has welcomed you. And that's great. That's good to hear.
Well, let's talk about the salon a little bit. What do you offer? You've got. It seems like you got a team now. And
Yeah. So we're fully staffed right now. I've got 2 girls that are part-time, and I've got 4 other full-time, and myself. Okay. So primarily, we all specialize in something. Most of the girls do a lot of hair coloring. That's kind of our main area of expertise, is hair colors. Of course, we do everything involved with hair. We do some hair extensions too, which is really popular. We try to bring the services that not necessarily everybody is going to offer.
Sure.
You can get your hair cut anywhere. You can get your hair color anywhere, and that's great. But like not everyone can do the hair extensions. So we want to offer those kind of things. I do the permanent makeup. So I have a tattoo license and I do permanent cosmetics. That's not something you can, there's like one other place locally that you can go.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to jump in. That's a little new to me. So permanent makeup, explain that a little bit.
Okay, so let's say your wife doesn't have a whole lot of eyebrows, right?
Yeah.
And she really wants to have eyebrows because otherwise she's spending 20 minutes in the morning drawing them on every single day. And
Okay.
she's like, this is really frustrating. So I can do microblading. So I make little hair strokes. It looks super natural. And she has eyebrows now and she doesn't have to put them on every single day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's like a semi-permanent tattoo that'll last a couple years but looks super duper natural.
Okay. Okay, cool.
So
You learned something new.
Yes.
So there's that, and eyeliner and lip liner. We can do all that. I have a girl who does lash extensions exclusively. Like that's what she does. Another girl who wants to specialize in skincare. So she has her advanced aesthetics license. So she can do all kinds of facials, exfoliating treatments that not everyone can offer. She can do because she has that extra license.
Nice.
Things like that, like more specialty type services. So
That was kind of the goal going into it.
right, we want to, like, our slogan is big city services, small town experience. So we wanted to offer those things that you might have to drive to the cities to get normally.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
Say that again. Big city services, small town what?
big city experience, small town service. Did I say it backwards? I might have said.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, big city.
No, I
experience,
probably-
small town service. I have to think about that.
No, that's good. I like that. How about who inspires you or what really drives you?
For me, being able to help people is what drives me. So, who inspires me? There's a lot of people that inspire me. Like I have clients, like I have a client who talked about her husband going through this super traumatic experience at work. They didn't know if he was going to make it, but she just sat there with a smile on her face the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
That's inspiring to me. The fact that she's able to keep a positive attitude, even though, we never know what's going to happen
Right.
because he got injured at work, or just anyone who can keep a positive attitude. Like my clients inspire me every day.
Yeah, that's cool.
So anything that I can do to keep that confidence there for them and make them feel good is what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. But I kind of thought about that before you came here. I thought, it's so cool probably to have different clients come in, different days. You get to see them, hear a little bit of their life. I mean, just kind of share part of their story and
Right. Like
be involved. That's neat.
exactly. Everybody has their own little individual stories and they share that all with us.
Right.
So we get to be in a really special place to know those personal things that maybe not everyone does.
Yeah.
So
And then having that consistency of them coming back and
Yeah.
getting to know them even more and
yeah,
building that connection.
it's
for sure.
wonderful.
Yeah. What are some major challenges that you've had and how have you overcome them?
Major challenges. The remodel was a major challenge.
A lot of work.
It was a lot of work, but it was well worth it. A big challenge for me is this is a different structure. I've always run my salon before as a booth rental. So I was the boss, but people just pay me a monthly fee and then they keep all their income. They provide their own supplies, whatever. I wanted to change this because I wanted to be able to, around here, like Ridgewater offers cosmetology. So when I got out of school, if someone would have been able to offer me a wage, like a guaranteed pay, I would have taken it, but that wasn't an option. Like there's no second, there's no plan B.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to offer that to girls so they can get a job out of college and have that support and not just be like thrown into, here you go, here's a corporate job, or you can booth rent and be on your own and hope it goes well.
Yeah, sure.
So it's been a challenge to transition and get used to the differences. It's going really well, and I'm super thankful for that, but there's been a little bit of a learning curve for me because I'm having to do a little bit more than I had to do before.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Has it been like building your clientele? Has that been on pace for you, or slower than you were hoping, or quicker? Or
I had a couple years here working at Penny's down in Wilmer to kind of build up a clientele, and I got really lucky because when I moved, like about 80% of my clientele came with me without question. Because they were like, oh, well, we live in New London, Spicer, so that's going to be convenient. We don't have to drive to Wilmer. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I was pretty full coming in, and then I started getting new people, being a new business in town. So I had to, get my time and get someone to take the other people. So it went really fast in the beginning, so it was a little bit overwhelming.
Sure.
Because I was working probably 12-hour days, 6 days a week, trying to fit people in while I was trying to find staff at the same time and get things, to a stable, like, okay, this is the normal. Sure. But now that I've gotten everything normal, it's staying pretty steady. It's doing pretty well. It's more... okay, we need to build up the services that these girls want to offer. That's, where I'm at right now. Like, I want someone to specialize in, the skincare. That's what she wants to do. So we need to work on focusing on what do we need to do to bring in these people.
Get the clientele for that specific thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So
Which it looks like you're doing a good job of that. I mean, marketing's pretty on point. I'm assuming that's Sam, probably?
Yes. So... all of our paid advertising, so anything that's like Google, anything that is paid on Facebook, all of those things are Sam and his agency. Like, I would not be able to do what I'm doing without them. Yeah. So
give more than a shout out. So tell the listeners who Sam is.
Okay, so Sam is my fiance. He owns a digital marketing agency. It's called Romainberg. They do primarily SEO, but they do paid advertising, all that stuff. For anybody who doesn't know who that is, because when he first explained it to me, I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. He does the things that make your listing pop up on Google.
Yeah.
So he gets you to be on that front page where you want to be seen, because I've learned in that industry, what do they call, if you want to hide a dead body, throw it on the second page of Google, is something that they say, I guess. And I'm like, that's kind of silly. But if you think about it, how often do you scroll past the first
don't
page?
Get to that second page. No.
You don't.
Yeah.
So,
very true. Yep.
But so huge shout out to Romainberg, him and his company. His partner's an accountant. So without them, I would be an unorganized mess.
Yeah.
As far as like social media, I handle the organic side of things.
Yeah.
So he does all the paid advertising. I do the creative content for anything that's coming on organic. So like the live feeds that we've been doing, we're trying to do every Tuesday. I come up with the content. I talk to the girls. I'm like, hey, I need you to plan on doing this. Let's figure out, the schedule for this, and let's ask people what they want to see. Mm-hmm. So I do that. He comes in and he's got all the camera equipment, like, to make sure the camera's stable. If you watch the one this week, he was out of town. So like we're all over the place. Like, this is not a steady camera. Sorry, he's not here. But yeah.
That's good.
How do you feel like social media? I mean, you're doing a great job. You see a lot of it, but how do you feel like that's improving your business or helping your business, growing your business?
I think the big thing about social media that a lot of people don't realize is that it creates a connection. Our clients want to connect with us. That's why they come in for our service versus just running to like a Great Clips or, whatever. They come in for the experience.
Yeah.
And we give them kind of a little peek into our personal lives and our personalities and who we are through our social media. It's not just like Instagram is more of a portfolio. Like here is where you can see a lot of the colors and everything we do. It's nice and it's polished and, whatever. But if you watch our Instagram story, you'll see a lot of before and afters.
Yeah,
if you look at our Facebook, you'll see like behind the scenes stuff. You'll see stuff that's more, connect with us and know who we are as people.
Sure. That's good. That's awesome.
Like I had to laugh. We did that. Did you guys see at Water Days? We did that that get up challenge dance.
I didn't know. No. I didn't see that.
Okay, so on my Facebook page, if you look at the videos, it cracks me up. Like I can't stand it, and I don't ever want to hear that song again if I can help it. But that get up challenge thing was huge this summer. Like doing this silly little dance. It had nothing. And we're like, hey, Water Days is starting. We're going to have some fun. So we all went outside the salon. Sam stood in the box of the pickup with his phone recording. And we played the Get Up Challenge song. Really? And we all danced on the sidewalk on Main Street. And it was so silly because a couple of us learned the dance and a couple of the girls were like, I have no idea. So we're just like winging it. Is that okay? And we're like, yep, it's great. Do what you got to do. So you see a couple girls in the background doing their own little crazy thing. Like Emily turned around, whacked her hand on the cactus. Like it was a hot mess, but it was fun. And we had like 13,000 views on it.
Really?
Wow.
It was insane. Nice. It had nothing to do with hair, but people loved it.
That's kind of what people want to see. They
like.
They don't want to be sold. You know? So
exactly.
They get enough of that with all the paid advertising.
Is it still on there? We can still see it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I'll have to check that out for sure.
So you, with the experience that you've got, kind of taking a leap, what advice would you give somebody that's maybe listening, that's on the edge of their seat thinking that they maybe want to make a big business move or start their own business? What kind of tip or advice would you give them?
My biggest piece of advice that I can give anybody going into business, and it's a hard thing to hear and it's a hard thing to like really like set your mind to, but you need to give 100% of your attention to that business move. Like dive in, don't be scared to do it, make the leap, go for it. Because I'm at where I'm at because I don't have a plan B.
Yeah, you burn the boats, as they say.
Yeah. Like I'm going in and I'm going in hard. There's not a second option because if I have a second option, that's splitting my focus and making success that much harder. So go in 100%. Don't have that plan B. Like you said, burn the boats. You're not turning around. You're not going back. Just go for it and put it all in there.
Nice.
Great advice.
Is there anything we didn't mention or ask you that you would like to say?
I don't know. I mean, I think we covered a lot of everything. We do offer like free consultations. If you're unsure about doing a service, if you're not sure if it's something for you, come in, stop, talk to us. If you want to just stop in and say hi, like we welcome people to do that. I still to this day get people walking in the door and they're like, oh, this isn't an antique store anymore. No, but come on in.
And men's haircuts, right?
Yep, we do men's haircuts. Yep.
Do you get very many men stopping in there?
We do have.
Good.
We have a regular base for guys. We don't market as much to guys, but we have guys that come in because they're like, I want someone to chat with. And I tell you what, I get a shampoo every time I'm here. That's why I come.
Nice.
Yeah. So I see there's beard trims as well.
Yes.
Right. Kelly really needs one of those, but
totally.
I'll start working on that and be there in about a year and a half.
All right.
I see Angie's there, right?
Angie is there.
I think of her last name. So I used to go, you know Kayla then?
Yep.
You went.
Yep, I do know Kayla.
She was somewhere else. Where was she? She started cutting my hair somewhere. Then she moved to JCPenney's.
Yep.
And I never plan anything. So I'm just like, oh, I think I'll get a haircut. Yep. So I stop in there. And if she's busy, then I would just bounce around. And Angie cut mine a couple times. So it was fun seeing her in there yesterday. So how long has she been there?
She just came in. So Angie got married in September. So everyone knows her as Angie Tadich, but she's Angie Londo now.
Okay, right.
So she just came in a couple weeks ago.
Cool.
She got back from a honeymoon. She's like, I think I'm ready to take the leap. Can I still come join you? Because I worked with her from the day she started at Penny's to the day that I left. So we came together and I was like, yeah, let's do this. I I want a salon manager, and I know you have the experience and you have the right attitude for it. She's really a great motivator for people. So I brought her in, and she's done my hair since I moved out here. So
Okay, cool. And I've had her too. She's great. Aside from being in the salon and working 24/7, what else do you like to do? Do you get to get out and about and enjoy a few things, or just kind of share some of your hobbies?
I really try to enjoy the outdoors. I was really mad I did not get a deer tag this year because I was standing in my yard and there was 3 deers standing in the woods, and I'm like, oh, my bow is 20 feet away from me, but what do I do because I don't have a tag? So obviously, I let them go. But hunting and fishing, I mean, I grew up in Minnesota,
Very cool.
so
Cool.
we do travel when we can. Sam's family is kind of spread out across the country. His mom's in Southern California, so is his aunt. His dad is in Phoenix, Arizona currently. He's got grandparents in Florida.
Oh, wow.
My parents are in Ortonville. I have a sister out in South Dakota. So we tend to stay pretty busy. We're both kind of workaholics. So hobbies includes us talking at home about stocks.
Sure.
And business. It'll literally be like, oh my gosh, we just thought of something. So we'll be laying down in bed. It's 11 o'clock at night. Get up, go to the office, and sit there for 3-4 hours laying out this new marketing idea that he has. Or I'm drawing out this picture of something that I've got, and I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do with it.
Sure.
So we don't do a lot that's not work related. But when we do, it's traveling or outdoors.
Okay.
So
Nice.
Very good. Are you an early morning person? Or are you all over the board? No.
I'm all over the board. I'm not super early morning. I mean 7:30,
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
But I'm not a 5 o'clock in the morning person.
Yeah.
I will do it to go out and sit in the deer stand, but
Yep.
that's about it.
Yep.
So,
Priorities.
yep.
Oh, that's good.
How can people get in touch with you?
We do have a website that you can book directly online. It's millpondsalon.com. Our Facebook page is a really good spot to get a hold of us too. We get a lot of messages on there, and all of the staff has access to that. So we're pretty good at responding pretty quickly on there.
Sure.
And you can also stop in or call us. The phone number is 320-335-0077.
And it's right on Main Street.
And we're right on Main Street. So it's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, right by the dam.
Yeah.
You can even look at the dam when you're getting your hair done, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We added in a couple windows back there because I thought it was such a shame not to use the view that's there. So.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, good job. Great job.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. I think that about does it.
We just want to thank you again for taking time out of your day and being a guest today on the On Main Street podcast. We really appreciate you doing that for us.
I appreciate you guys inviting me. I mean, like you said, community, and that's what it's all about. I think it's great what you guys are doing here and bringing to the table. So,
And if you haven't already, check out the Mill Pond Salon.
And we want to thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with us. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean a lot to us if you would subscribe and leave a review. The On Main Street podcast is a bi-weekly show brought to you by New London Real Estate.